And you can look at Magnus there. He's so unhappy. He simply forgot that the rook can actually drop back. He had to take here. This is how the game could have been around equal. But the moment he played this rook e6, he's just utterly lost. And look at him there. He's so unhappy. How did he miss that the rook could move back?
Hello and welcome back, guys, to another exciting Magnus Carlsen chess game. This one was played really recently at Global Chess League 2024, and Magnus's team was playing against Maxime Vachier-Lagrave's team. This is the game between these two. They were playing like the team leaders or team captains. Very exciting game until the very end. I will not bother you with the result or anything else. We will go straight into the game. Magnus, who played this game with white, opened the game with d4. We have knight to f6 for MVL, c4 for Magnus, we have g6, and h4 was played for Magnus with the idea to later go for h5 and attack on this king. We're in King's Indian defense. Bishop g7 for black. Magnus continues with knight to c3. We have d6 and we have e4 on the board, standard moves in King's Indian defense. Black continues with knight to c6. We have knight g to e2. We have a castle for black, and we have f3 on the board for white, for Magnus Carlsen, protecting this pawn. We have e5 on the board, a classic attack in the King's Indian defense. Magnus decided to push and attack this knight. Now goes a thematic sacrifice in King's Indian defense with knight to d4. We have bishop to e3. It is not recommended to take this. I will show you right now. Of course, if you go for this is straight losing, because now knight e4 is a devastating attack here, and you cannot take with the queen since there is a pin. And of course, you have to go back, and this is simply much better position for black since the white's king is not safe. So this is not a free pawn, obviously. With knight to d4, if white wants to take, which happened in the game, Magnus has to go with bishop e3, c5, now protecting this knight and offering the en passant move. D takes on c6, b takes on c6. Both players play this really fast. We have knight takes on d4, e takes on d4, and bishop takes on d4. So Magnus finally got his pawn, but at what price? Magnus's king is still in the center, so he has to pay the price for that. That is why MVL immediately attacks d5. He wants to open files and open lines and go for an attack on this king if possible. C takes on d5, c takes on d5, and e5 was played for Magnus Carlsen, now attacking this knight. This knight retreats to h5 with a really good square here, getting ready to invade on g3 or in f4 if needed. Game continued with king to f2 for Magnus Carlsen. Now this move is not a mistake of the position, but Magnus Carlsen had a better move, at least by computer evaluation. But Magnus with this move wanted to stop this knight invading on g3. Game continued with rook to e8 for MVL, now pressuring this pawn. f4 is no longer possible, and Magnus now has to give up this pawn, of course. Queen to d2 was played to try and bring this rook in the game as well, and also the main idea is to protect this f square and this knight from jumping in there. We have bishop takes on e5, bishop takes, and a rook takes on e5. For now the position is slightly better for black, the computer evaluation says this. Magnus goes for queen to d4, and computer now gives this slight mistake. Because black had a queen d6 as the main move, but in the game queen f6 was played for MVL, and now the position is dead equal. Magnus finds the best move with a rook to d1. Now you have to be careful because you don't want to leave this piece unprotected and allow some sort of discovered attacks. You never allow these things to happen, so rook to d1 was played to avoid that. Bishop b7 for MVL, getting ready to bring another rook into the game, and right now we have a g4 for Magnus Carlsen. Knight jumps on f4, for now it is protected, and we have the move rook to e1 for Magnus Carlsen, now offering the trade of rooks. In the game rook e6 was played, but I want to show you a small kind of tactical puzzle. You can tell me what would happen if MVL just casually played rook a to e8 here. It looks like a perfectly reasonable move. You want to keep these rooks here, you want to force white to trade and just keep these nice rooks on this e file. Well, this is actually a mistake, and you can try and find the move for yourself. If not, I will show you the main idea here for white and actually now white is winning with king to g3. A quiet move, you wouldn't believe that in the middle game king just comes here and white is winning. And the reason white is winning right now, because this knight is attacked, this rook is also attacked, and this queen is also hanging. So you have to decide what will you give. So let's say you play something like knight to e6, for example. This cuts away the two rooks and this leaves this rook free for taking. If after king to g3 you go rook 5 to e6, so you can protect the queen, then white will simply take queen takes on f6, rook takes on f6, and rook takes on e8. Your rook was left hanging. So with one move you can lose the game by moving like sort of a regular move without paying attention. Of course, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave sees this and he plays rook to e6. Queen takes on f6, rook takes on f6, and right now we have a king to g3 for Magnus Carlsen, pressuring this knight, a rook to b8 for MVL, with the idea to open up the b file for this rook, and also this bishop will join the game from either one of these squares. For now, of course, this square is taken. We have rook to h2 for Magnus Carlsen, a really nice move, multi-purpose move. You find a way to activate your rook, and now this pawn is protected. h6 on the board for MVL, rook to d2, now trying to put pressure on this pawn. We have king to g7 here played for MVL, just to keep his rook safe here as well. Rook goes on e5, now another piece is put to pressure, and now Magnus Carlsen wants to try and take this pawn. For now everything is defended, bishop c6 is played, finally this rook is free on this b file. b3 for Magnus Carlsen, and we have a rook to b4, with the main idea is just to simply activate your rook and bring it closer into the action. We have knight to e2, now Magnus offers a trade here, and for now MVL refuses and he offers another trade here with a rook to e6. Now Magnus in this position decided to sacrifice for a second, and he plays knight picks up on e4 with the idea of giving up this rook, but after rook takes on e5 we have knight to d3 fork, and right now the trades will happen and everything will be just fine. But in this position a rook to d4 was played for MVL, and now as Magnus you need to take this rook, white will black will, so the game should continue with knight picks up on e5, rook takes on d2, and after knight takes on c6 and rook takes on e2, a2, computer gives this evaluation a dead equal. Of course black has one passed pawn here, but white has a rook and a knight, which can be tricky to win against, especially those are always those are more favorable than just a rook. But in this position after rook to d4 Magnus played a rook to c2, and as you saw from the intro, this was where Sagar was completely surprised that Magnus Carlsen played this move. He was not that low on time, so he had enough time to think about, and he missed this simple defensive tactic with rook to e6. Right now this bishop is defended and you are just simply down an exchange. Of course Magnus is the best player in the world and he always tries to play until the very end. He always tries to put tricks, but MVL is one of the best grandmasters of the world, one of the few persons that reach 2800 rating, and this is obviously a very hard task for Magnus Carlsen. Game continued with a5. We have knight to c5 now attacking this rook. Rook goes on f6 with the multi-purpose idea is to simply right now to cover the f file. One of the ideas is to double up these rooks, and another idea is to simply pressure this pawn here. Magnus has to move from this potential pin, and we have rook d to f4 now. Maxime tries with the pressure on this pawn. Magnus defends with bishop g2. We have a rook to b4, and right now we have knight to d3 played for Magnus. Rook is attacked and he goes on b6 because right now this bishop is also hanging. Knight to e5 now attacking this bishop. Rook to e6 is played. For now everything is defended. This bishop cannot be taken. Two rooks are defending it. We have f4 for Magnus and f6 played for MVL, attacking this knight, asking Magnus to go back. A rook goes on e3, now MVL grabs even more space. We have a rook to d2, Magnus tries what he can at least to hold this position if possible. We have a4, a nice move here by MVL trying to open up the files and pressure, and in this position king f2 was played, which is one of the actually better moves. Now after a4, if you're thinking that ba4 is a good move, it's actually not, because the main idea is to actually go for rook b4. And now if Magnus decides to save this pawn, now we have rook e to e4, and this pawn is practically undefendable. If you push, white will not immediately, black will not immediately take, but he will firstly give this check, and after you go on f2, he can either go g takes on f5 or play some other move, but black is simply better. So this was the main idea here, and that is the reason why Magnus after a4 went for king f2. We have a takes on b3, king takes this rook, and right now a b2 is played. We have another trade here and another exchange. Rook to d1. Now Magnus is forced after this promotion to give up this queen, of course. He has to give up rook for the queen, and right now we have knight to d4. The situation is almost the same, but right now Magnus has this passed pawn, which for now cannot go that far away. We have bishop to b7 since Magnus attacked this bishop. g5, Maxime takes this, of course. He is an exchange up and he will try his best to win this endgame. Rook to b2 is played, attacking this bishop, pressuring this pawn. Bishop goes on h3, rook takes on a2. This pawn was free for taking. King goes on f4, Magnus still tries. King goes on f7, king e5, king e7. This pawn is for now protected. Bishop f1 for Magnus, rook to a3 with the simple idea that now this pawn will be available for taking. Also, this will cut away this bishop's diagonal. Nothing is easy here to play. Magnus decided to go for the best move of the position with king to f4, and right now we have bishop to a6 offering the trade of bishops. After this, Magnus went for bishop to g2, and after king to d6, Magnus Carlsen on the move 54 decided to resign. Computer gives this position almost 5 positional advantage for black, so the position is dead lost here, and Magnus knew it. Unfortunately, he couldn't create a miracle here. MVL is too good of a player to miss the opportunity that Magnus just gave, and this is how this amazing game ended. If you enjoyed this game, please make sure to leave a comment, like, and share this video with other people who enjoy chess. If you want to improve at chess and you want to become a better chess player, I have a chess community I'm a part of. You can check the link in the description of this video. If you wish, you can join. Making an account is completely free, so do check it out if you wish to improve, and also give me your thoughts about this comment and about this Magnus's blunder. As you can see, blunders happen to everyone, so you don't be mad when you see me blundering like crazy when I'm tired and I don't play a longer time controls. As you can see, even Magnus Carlsen blunders, so it happens to everyone, even to the best of us. Mistakes happen, and this is how this amazing game ended. And thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a pleasant day. Bye bye.